And hello, good timers. So many of you, when you think of Maine, think of pine trees, probably some rocky coastlines, some ocean scenes. But how many of you think of the desert? Probably absolutely nobody. We're going to change your minds today because Simone and I, and of course Snowden, are heading to the desert of Maine. We'll see you there. Alright guys, we've got our Starbucks in hand here. Snowden got his pup cup, of course. Right now Simone's filling up his water bottle for the trip, so he's looking out the window to see where she is. But yeah, Desert of Maine's about an hour, probably an hour and a half from where we live here, and it's a very unique place. It literally is a desert in the middle of the woods of Maine, so it's going to be in for quite a treat here today. Something that you're not going to see every day, probably one of those off the beaten path kind of places. So definitely can find it in some guidebooks, but other than that, nice little hidden gem here in the state of Maine. And like most attractions, guys, they do have their own gift shop here. Gift shop is actually where you go and purchase your ticket here, and it is $36 for the 2 adults. Children get a discount, and so do seniors, I believe. But yeah, souvenirs, tickets, bathrooms, all right here at the Welcome Center, which is right when you pull in. And they also have a snack bar here, guys, where you can get yourself some hot dogs, veggie dogs, kielbasa, loaded hot dogs, and a bunch of drinks, and including a fresh homemade Maine blueberry lemonade.
I'm looking forward to that.
So we're going to enjoy that.
Also down the tier, right?
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the Desert of Maine.
There you go. Thank you.
Thanks.
So on site here for the kids and for the adults as well, guys, they have mini golf. We're just going to show it to you here for a quick second. Hermit's Adventure Golf. There's Hermit himself right there. So yeah, Walter Rains, next time you come to Maine, we're gonna have to show you the Desert of Maine, and then we're gonna have to go right here to the golf course and show you who's boss. So here, guys, on the grounds of the desert, used to be a barn that was over 200 years old. The pieces of the barn, the wood from the barn, was brought over by oxen almost 200 years ago in the 1700s. Used to be called the Tuttle Barn. It used to sit right here. They actually, the barn was degrading so badly that they had to take it down, but they did save the parts of the barn, and they're going to use those parts to rebuild it here. Should be done in a couple of years, but right now they're just obviously working on the foundation, as you can see. But yeah, come back here in a few years and you'll be able to see the old Tuttle Barn. In 1821, John and Abigail Tuttle bought this 50 acres of farmland right here in Freeport, Maine, that encompasses today's Desert of Maine. When they bought the farm, the land before you looked no different than any other farmland in the area. The topsoil was typical New England, thin and sandy, but fertile enough to support a farm. Unbeknownst to the Tuttles, though, hidden beneath the topsoil was a truly massive deposit of glacial silt. Today, that is known as the Desert of Maine. And if we take this trail, I'm going to guess we're going to find where the desert is.
Andy, how did you know that information?
You know, I'm not sure how I knew that.
You're a historian.
Yeah, no, isn't that crazy?
Wow.
All right, let's go find the desert. Also, guys, as you can see, it's a hot spot for children. It is almost school vacation. This is the last week of school in Maine, which means basically that students do absolutely nothing except go on field trips. There's about 3 buses over there right now. So as you can see, field trips have ensued. This is kind of cool here. It's actually a moose made out of wood here. So that's kind of neat. And you got a nice mini golf course out there, but on to the desert. The desert in Maine, guys, is located just about probably 10 miles outside of Freeport, 10 minutes, I should say, outside of Freeport. Freeport, of course, is home to LL Bean, and you've seen that in some of our other vlogs. So this is a really cool area, and you can definitely spread yourself out and kind of avoid other people if you try hard enough. It's big enough to do that, and after the desert area here, there's also some trails that go through the woods that you can hike on, so we'll probably show you those. All right, guys, so around 1940, this was as big as it was gonna get. About 100 acres of desert was right here in Freeport. Since then, in the past 25 years or so, the forest here has been kind of reclaiming itself. It's now down to just 25 acres of this sand dunes. So we're obviously not going to show you all 25 acres today, but we're going to explore at least a few acres of it probably. So yeah, it's definitely shrinking through the years. So another 100 years from now, who knows, this may not even be here. So come enjoy it while you can. In 1935, guys, it was discovered right here that a natural spring was producing clear and ice-cold water. In 1938, a beautiful structure, I don't know how beautiful it is, we'll find out when we get down there, but a beautiful structure was built, and for 5 cents you could go in and get yourself a nice cold glass of pure water right here in the middle of the desert. So that's how they made a little extra cash back in 1938. All right, guys, and here's the structure a little bit closer. Once again, this is where you could get your fresh spring water for only 5 cents. What a bargain, especially by today's standards. Now, cool fact here, guys, this was actually not excavated until the early 2000s, and this was actually rebuilt. That's right, not the original. This was rebuilt and finished in 2021, so this is pretty much brand new. Before that, this was under a ton of sand, buried under the dune. They actually discovered the remains of it in 1980, but yes, it was finished pretty much 2 years ago.
You can see the water.
And Simone can see water, all right. Let's go check it out.
Snowden, you want a drink for 5 cents? Snowden?
So guys, as I was saying, they do have some trails here through the woods. Build a little bridge here that you can walk across. And it's just going to come out in a different part of the desert, but it's still kind of fun to walk through the woods and get some shade. It does feel like it's about 90 degrees out here today. They've also got some lodging up there. I'm not sure if those are for employees or guests, but they are very cool though. Yeah, there's a campground here on site, guys, so it might be part of the campground. You probably can rent these cottages, I imagine.
I watch you as you drive. Do you know I'm looking? And I can't help but smile. Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on, I put my feet up, and we just sing along. And I can't help but feeling, just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time
So the trees that you guys can see here on the hills and scattered about, that's just a sampling of the trees here in the desert of Maine. There's actually a bunch more trees buried right underneath all of these sand dunes. So if they were to dig down, you would find more of these. Before us here, guys, is what they call the fossil area, and kids can actually try to find fossils here in the sand. So cool Kids Day activity. Thankfully right now there's no kids, so we're just gonna go explore it ourselves. This area right here, guys, used to be the ocean floor. During the last ice age, a giant sheet of ice covered most of Canada and most of the United States, and including Maine. The ice was so heavy that it pushed the land down below sea level. When it melted, the places closest to the coast, like Freeport, where we are now, were flooded by the ocean water. So what is now a landscape of sand and dunes and trees once was home to fish, whales, and other marine life. Fossilized humpback whale bones from the last ice age were actually found in this very spot. Now, obviously that little thing right there is not the real stuff, that's for kids, but still a very cool fact. Guys, next stop here in the desert of Maine is the Gemstone Village. Once again, made for kids, but made for adults too, at least today. And it looks like it's a little mini maze once you get in here, guys, which is good because I actually don't like mazes at all. Take me to an escape room and you may never find me again. So I'll probably be having a nervous breakdown in a corner somewhere. But this one here should be okay. We have the Story Walk. It's a nature trail and illustrated children's story about the desert of Maine. So the story will be told as we are walking through the trail. All right, guys, well, it looks like it kind of loops around this storied trail. And here's your first story. The Sands of Time, a story about the desert of Maine. Follow the 11 signs along the nature trail and enjoy your own illustrated children's story. Simone's a child at heart, right, Simone?
Sure.
Sure, there you go.
Here it is, so many years
Here's
ago.
page 1. All right.
Pier.
On to page 2.
All right. Let's go see what Pierre's up to.
Yep.
Poor Pierre.
All right, guys, page 2. As the planet got colder, so did Pierre. Pierre's going to become part of the Ice Age, I have a feeling.
Oh my goodness.
But you guys will just have to guess for yourself. Or actually, you know what we'll do? We'll skip to the ending of the chapters. How's that? So you guys can see the beginning of the book, and now you'll see the ending. All right. Looks like we've come to the end of the walk, guys, and let's see. Did Pierre live? Simone, did Pierre live?
Yeah, he made it.
He made it.
Oh, Pierre.
He made it through ice ages and
Water.
regrowths and water and sand and dirt.
All of the above.
And as for the rest of the story, guys, it still continues to this day. Pierre still lives on somewhere here in the desert.
Random.
So guys, this area, once again, has been an attraction since the 1920s. And back in the 1920s, they quite often took vehicles that looked just like this one to go explore the desert of Maine. So back in the 1800s, guys, at this very spot, there was a farmhouse that stood. As you can see right now, this is definitely not the original, but it is an exact replica of the original. And there's actually a museum inside this farmhouse as well.
I met an old man. I said, tell me your story. He took out an old pen and wrote something for me. He kept walking on down the road, and I watched him disappear like smoke. And I thought I'd just seen a ghost. Then I looked down at what he wrote. It said, son, when you grow up you'll be fine. I know you've got questions on your mind. Life is gonna happen one way or the other, whether you like it or not. Stop looking for the answers and you'll find what you've got. Searching for glory. I took out an old pen and wrote in my story. Then I kept walking on down the road. When the time is up, it's time to go. I pray he reads what's on the note and takes to heart what I wrote. I said, son, when you grow up you'll be fine. I know you've got questions on your mind.
Desert of Maine is a great place. Even if you are handicapped or if you're out of shape like myself, you guys can actually take this electric train right here and it'll bring you to all the hot spots here along the Desert of Maine. It'll highlight the different areas for you, tell you a little bit more about it, and so forth. So this actually right now is only running on the weekends, but as soon as the school lets out here in another couple weeks, it will be running probably 7 days. All right, guys, so hopefully you've enjoyed your time here at the Desert of Maine. It's definitely one of those off the beaten path kind of things, one of those only in Maine kind of things as well. So if you're looking something to do that's not your normal stuff here, I highly suggest the Desert of Maine. It's definitely a desert. And I think that about wraps it up. Anything to add, Simone?
Well, they've got like a couple other things, like they got the golf, little mini golf thing
right.
for kiddos.
Mini golf, yep.
A couple little gem things for.
Yep. They do have restrooms. They do have a snack bar. And my GoPro case is attacking me here, sorry. But yes, they do have a snack bar and mini golf and a bunch of kid activities as well. Obviously, we showed you some of those. And so yeah, hope you enjoyed it, guys. Only one thing left to do, or actually maybe two. There's something we haven't done for a while that we might have to do here, guys. But anyway, we'll show you that in a minute. And until next time,
Have a good time.
have a good time.
Have a drink, just relax, all your problems will fade. If you're ready for a good time, count on me. There's a party in the backyard, dance your problems away. I'm all about the good vibes, I know you're all about the good vibes. Do you know how much I love you, wanna see you smile? Where's that happy girl that I know with a heart on fire? I'll do anything to make it fine, but I can tell that you have something on your mind right now. But I will make you forget all your sorrows. Let go like there's no tomorrow. Let's have a drink, just relax, all your problems will fade. If you're ready for a good time, count on me. There's a party in the backyard, dance your problems away. I'm all about the good vibes, I know you're all about the good vibes. We are all about the good vibes. We are all about the good times. Dance until it feels alright, all night. We're all about the
So guys, the desert here reached its biggest point about 100 years ago. And it, no, that's not right. So guys, the maximum expanse here of the desert actually was in 1940. Since 1940, it's been regrowing, or sorry, that didn't go good either.
Still going.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. All right, guys, so around 1940, the most expansive, no, that's not right. All right. In 1940, guys, this desert reached its maximum expansive, what the word is
Word
this?
is that?
Maximum expanse. Jesus, why do they make it easy?
There's people coming. Hold on. They're coming right this way.
Okay.
God forbid if they go the other way.
I'm just gonna say extended.
Extended.
Extended over 100 acres. There we go.
There you go. Come here. Yo, I see you eyeing them. You can't eat people.